I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm taking a nap. Alright, I am getting stuff ready. My apologies if
Are you starting
I am late here. I'm getting stuff ready. Alright, come on. No, phone. Might want to mute me for a moment while I fix this. Come on, Kate. No, I'm doing this. Alright, you want to get your chair?
Am I part of it?
Yeah, why not? You're here. You're part of it. If you don't have any water yet, get yourself some water. And I'll be right back. Little Lily. Alright. Get my water.
Hello.
So, my apologies for being late.
It was my fault. Sorry.
It was not her fault. I created it. For whatever reason. Alright.
Really cute.
Yes. On live stream. Just blowing my nose.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
I don't hide anything. Okay. So, you have your water. This is my beautiful assistant, Daniela. Ooh.
Yeah. Am I beautiful?
She's so beautiful. So, today's discussion is gonna be based on the victim mentality. How we place ourselves thinking that we don't create our reality. The reason why I chose this topic for today is a number of reasons. And the first one is, I am part of the Light Beings community. I am in the core group, and it's one of our principles that we live by. It's one of the things that we live by, that you create your reality. You create it 100% of the time, not 80%, and then, yeah, we leave the rest to Source or Universe or God, whatever it is that you want to leave it up to. And two, I have been playing with rituals, and I've been playing with different meditations and different ways to reinforce the belief that I create my reality. Because everything is based upon belief. And a ritual teaches you, or ritual gets you to the point of believing that you create something. And if you don't believe that you create your reality, it's very important to start playing different games to remind you that you do. And it's outright, 100%. One of the ways that you can do is, I played this with Daniela, I believe, at a festival where you go around and you think about what you want to create, or what you want to see in a festival. So like, you want to see a certain t-shirt, or you want to see a color of a t-shirt, or you want to see a symbol or an emblem on a person's t-shirt. And
The manifesting game?
yes, it's called the manifesting game. So you visualize what you want to see, and then you let it go. And you see how long it takes for that particular shirt or that particular thing to manifest in your reality. Because we're always creating our reality. It's just that we're stepping into an age where we're starting to be more aware and present that we're creating it. Everything at a certain point becomes quote-unquote synchronistic. or what's the other word? Synchronistic and I don't know what the other word is. I guess synchronistic. And more you start playing with your creatorhood or the godhood that you are, you start realizing that you create things. So an interesting thing happened yesterday night, which is technically today. Hello. Andrea says hi.
Hello, beautiful being.
So I'm not going to mention what it is because that's going to kind of put it out in the open there. But there was an event that I was told I could not go to. And I had asked the person if I could be a part of it. And I really wanted to be a part of it because she's a part of it. And I wanted to go with her. And the person said no. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. But
Hello.
Hey, Peter. But the moment that well, not the moment. For me, like, it took a little time. But the moment that I realized, oh shit, why am I taking no as an answer? I create my reality. So Daniela and I have been doing different practices together, and I myself have been doing certain rituals to manifest me going to the thing that she is being a part of. And the whole purpose of what we were doing is to create the belief in my mind to let go of any doubt, to let go of any limitations that says, no, you're not going to be able to go. And that's what the purpose is of a ritual, is to make you believe that you are going to get the said outcome. So her and I have been doing different rituals to get the said outcome. And yesterday night, or earlier this morning, I guess you could say, I got a message from someone, which is the organizer of the event, and they said, hey, we have room now, or we have room, and we can take you to be a part of it. So the moment that happened, I was like, holy fuck. I literally just created this exactly how I wanted to create it. And before that moment, there was certain things that I would create little by little, but it wasn't as deliberate and as intentful as I have been with this particular thing and with her. So the other thing that her and I have been wanting to do is travel around the world, and we had put the intentions doing different rituals to go to Peru, which now we're going to Peru because we create our fucking reality. And we're going to be traveling to other places this year. And these particular experiences, when you start doing practices to make you believe, or to even put it out there that you create your reality, you'll get an experience that reinforces that you create your reality. So just like the things that I mentioned. Now there's also a lot of things out there that people think that they're victim to. I had a discussion with a person yesterday who defriended me on Facebook because he had posted that people who eat meat will never ascend. So the question I posed to him is, do you believe that people create their reality? And if that's the case, then how could you say that people who eat meat are not able to ascend? In your space, in your reality, let me turn this off. There we go. In the person's space that's saying that you wouldn't be able to ascend unless you ate vegetables or became vegan, in his reality, that is absolutely true. But every single person has their own bubble of reality. Every single person is
Well, that is almost the same as if you are not. As if you are not what?
I'm not sure what Peter's saying. But if you realize that every single person literally creates their own little reality, their own sphere, their own bubble, because we're all ultimately one organism. Yes, exactly. It's the same. It was the same thing as religious churches saying, if you're gay or if you're lesbian, you're not going to heaven. Like, in their reality, yes, it's true. But ultimately, the truth of it is that you individually create your reality. So if you buy into that limitation, then when you ascend or when you pass on, you're going to get put through different layers that kind of are like torturous for whatever reason. Come to Colombia.
Oh.
Actually, we're going to be in Colombia.
For like 12 hours.
For like 12 hours in Bogota. But ultimately, every single person creates their reality. When you see the top view, we're part of a giant organism. And each of us, each person who's watching this, is your own little individual cell, your own little individual bubble, creating whatever it is that you think is benefiting to you, whatever it is that you feel is of service to you based on certain experiences that you have had in your childhood and your upbringing. And that is what you base your belief on. That is what you wear as a goggle or as visions, as a filter for every experience that you have in the present moment. And it's all based on past experiences. Until the point where you realize that, oh shit, I no longer have to base my experiences on the filtered versions of myself that were hurt or that were traumatized or that were victimized and all those different things. But that comes part of spirituality, which means like starting to heal those aspects of yourself, starting to heal childhood traumas and different things like that. Hey Thor.
Hi. Somebody says for us to go to New Zealand, by the way.
We're going to go everywhere. So another example is of people who believe that they are victims to situations. I'm going to say this based on my experience. I was sexually abused when I was young by many, I'm not going to say many members of my family, but a few members of my family. For a long time, I held a lot of resentment towards them because I was like, well, they fucking did this to me, and they did this to me, and made me do this, and all this stuff. But I was coming from the victim standpoint. If you're a victim, you're giving your power away to something outside of you. When you become aware and present, you start owning every experience, meaning you start taking your awareness and your power back into you. So by you admitting to yourself, okay, I created that. Now the question is, why did you create that? Why would I choose myself to be sexually abused when I was younger? Well, the answer is this: to do exactly what I'm doing right now, so that I can hold space. How do you think I'm sharing that right now? So I created that experience to be sexually abused so I can be the person I am now, so that I can share and hold that space for other people who have been sexually abused. That is my role. That is what I chose to step into. I could have stayed in the victim standpoint and been like, I hate my fucking family members, I hate this, and all those people that did that to me, and then for the rest of my life, I would hold all this fucking resentment for no reason. Why would I? And that's just carrying that to your bed. You know the I think it's like the top 10 things that people do when they pass away, or the regrets that they have, is one of them is resentment.
Like not forgiving?
Yeah, not forgiving past experiences or things that may have happened. So I didn't want to live in that space. I didn't want to live in that mentality. It just, to me, you would carry so much anger with you. So I took ownership of it. And when I took ownership of it, I felt so much fucking lighter, so much clear, so much more powerful because of it. And it was because I created that. I owned it. I owned that experience. Now going even further, I was also the skinniest kid in middle school and high school, so I was constantly picked on. I was picked on every day. I would go home crying every day. And I remember during those times, I was like, why is this always happening to me? Why do people always fucking pick on me? Why can't they just pick on somebody else? And I also reflected on all those moments, because when you become self-aware, it's time to start reflecting on past experiences and seeing what you're filtering your experiences with, so that you can get past all of those filters, so that there's no filters on the current experience. So then I started analyzing that, and I realized that I chose to be picked on and quote unquote victimized during those times because I was able to hold the space for those people who did not know how to feel their anger or the ways that they were feeling certain emotions, so they had to project it onto somebody else. And contractually, because we have contracts with one another, I made contracts with these people that I didn't know about, obviously, because I wasn't conscious of it. I made contracts with them so that I could hold that space. I can absorb all that anger that they had and then transmute it into something else, which is obviously love. So I transmuted all that. I put myself through those experiences so that I can harden myself in a way. And harden is a tough word, but more of a put myself through very quote unquote dark times so that well, there's actually a quote that Michelle Alva said to me, which I love it actually, this is very good, is you use the shit that you go through as fertilizer for pushing you forward or growing into the new version of yourself. Something similar like that. So every single person, if you think about it for a moment, every person who is becoming self-aware had some catalyst or something that was detrimental that either kick-started them to start asking questions like, oh shit, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Or they had some type of psychedelic experience that they're like, oh shit, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So there's some catalyst that they put themselves through. So I wanted to share those two experiences as to how I used to think I was a victim. Never mind, I was going to say something, but I don't know if you want to talk about that.
What? What?
The stuff in... I don't know.
Sure, why not?
It's up to you.
It's fine. It's fine. Talk about it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You talk.
I don't know what you want to say.
Probably not the best, actually. Never mind.
No.
Never mind. I was going to have her share something, but I don't think she's ready to do so yet. But what I'm getting at...
What would I share about it?
Why do you think you would have created that? Because there's women on here that could benefit from that.
We love you too. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know why I created that for myself, actually.
Not yet? Okay. Well, she's still exploring a certain thing, but once she explores it more and I'll help her with it, that we'll be talking about it more. So, bottom line is, no matter what the experience is, if someone comes through my door and punches me in the face, I created that for whatever reason. Now, it would be a funny thing to be punched in the face by a random person that comes through the door, but why would I create that? Well, everything outside of you is a symbolic representation of an emotion. Well, everything outside of you is a symbolic representation of things that you're experiencing inside of you. Meaning, if someone were to come punch me in the face, I probably would get angry. So it would bring up anger within me that is already there. So it allows me to step further in to feeling my anger that I've been repressing. Because I've held in a lot of anger. And little by little I've allowed myself to face it because of all the times I've been picked on. Like, I literally was crying every day. My mom had to drive me to school because I couldn't take the bus anymore because the kids on the bus constantly picked on me. And I went home crying, and it was pretty difficult for me. But I held in so much anger. And I'm actually I wrote a book on this, which is going to be published soon, but I totally understand why there are people or children out there, kids out there, who choose to shoot up schools, who choose to take out their anger in that way because they don't know how to feel themselves. They don't know how to handle that particular emotion. So like, I totally could have seen myself doing that. But what was my saving grace in those moments? I plunged myself into video games so that I didn't have to feel emotions anymore. I plunged myself into paintballing so that I could let out my aggression in certain ways. Because paintballing it can be a very aggressive sport, and you release a lot of endorphins and adrenaline and all that stuff. But if it wasn't for that, I probably would have done the same thing that those kids would do. And that's just because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. So I used to think that the reason why I'm sharing that is because I thought I was a victim of those experiences. But when you start taking ownership of things like that, you begin to empower yourself. You begin to step into greater capacity of yourself so that you can be that pillar of light for other people so that they can recognize, hey, it's okay. Start remembering how powerful you are, that you create everything around you. Now, another example I wanted to go into, and then we'll do a water meditation and then sound healing. I'll get to that in a moment, Thor. So there was a conversation on my wall. I don't know if you follow. Some people follow my wall about the Illuminati and the occultists. That they do. If you do conspiracy theories and stuff, they do sacrificing so that they can send that energy to entities and demons. But they're coming at it from a standpoint of they're a victim too. They're coming from the victim standpoint. Why is that? Because they think something outside of them is going to support them in whatever quote-unquote evil things that they want to do. Which, if you start understanding things, it's not really evil. It's just perpetuating things and unlocking more of ourselves. But they're putting all their awareness outwards when ultimately the best thing that you can do is start bringing that towards you and taking ownership of your reality. But the reason I brought that up is because those demons or those entities or those things outside of you, they have no power over you. The only way that they would have power over you is if you give them power. What do I mean by that? If a fucking demon came out of the wall right now and just looked at me in my face, and if I had any bit of fear in that moment, actually a very good thing is, if you ever seen that Will Smith movie with his son, if you show any bit of fear towards that specific entity or being, you have now given it permission to enter into your reality, to enter into your sphere, to affect you, because you gave into the fear. So all those things, every single thing outside of you is an illusion. She's an illusion to me. I'm an illusion to her. But we're in service of each other so that we can reflect certain emotions back and forth. Demons are illusions. They only receive all the power that you want to give them. So if you feel fear, it's too late. Yes and no. If you feel fear, but you catch it instead of catching it, if you don't catch it at all, then yes, they're able to do whatever they want you. But if you catch it as you're feeling it and just surrendering to the fear and saying, oh, okay, I feel you. I feel that fear, but I just remember that I create my reality. You have no power over me. And then you could say out loud, I love you. Coming at it with love. Coming at it with that open space so that it has no power. Which is just the same thing that we're all talking about now. It's just you're not a victim of anything. You give power to every single thing outside of you. Yes, acknowledge it and disengage it. You give power to every single thing outside of you. So anytime that you feel someone's ever doing something to you, anytime you feel someone is hurting your feelings, anytime you feel someone is making you feel a certain way, it's all bullshit. You're just projecting it instead of owning the actual emotion that's coming up. And I'm calling you out on your bullshit if you feel that way. Because it's time to start taking ownership of your emotions. Rather than being, why are you making me feel this way? No. Why did you choose to create the experience that is bringing up an emotion inside you that was already fucking there? And these are powerful, powerful things. And sometimes it's not an easy thing to accept.
When the emotion, does it go away?
When you own the emotion, yes. When you accept it as being, when you accept that the emotion is actually there, it's like the same thing as when you, the rehab people, that they go through the different stages. First step of anything
is admitting that.
Yes. Is admitting that you have a problem. Is admitting that you are hiding from certain emotions. So, yes.
And then accepting it.
And then accepting it and loving it as an aspect of you that has always been there. And it'll always continue to be there. But now, it's there from love. Do you want to share anything? Sorry. I'm talking a lot.
No, I agree with everything. So.
You don't want to add anything at all? Not one bit?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It got
stuck for me. Surfing the wave and emotional intelligence. Yes. So what else here? There's so many different examples of people victimizing themselves or feeling that things are happening to them.
How can you stop repeating the same, even
the same ugly emotion?
And creating it all the time.
Okay. That's a good question. How can you stop repeating the same ugly emotion? So I'm sure as you go through an emotion, and if you don't address the emotion and you put it off to the side or you sweep it under the rug, the experience that created that emotion in the first place will repeat again, but the next time it repeats, it's a lot stronger, and it makes you feel that same emotion that you refuse to feel. But this time, the way that you feel that emotion is like fucking 10 times more stronger than you felt it the first time. The cycle keeps repeating, basically. The way that you combat that cycle is you acknowledge that the cycle is happening. You acknowledge that the reflection is in service to you. You acknowledge that the person who is reflecting that is only in service to you. It's not them that's doing it to you. So you label the emotion. Label what emotion it is. And the way that Kevin has taught me to address these is you would then recognize that emotions are just little child versions of yourself. They're little aspects of you that they're all crying and they want your attention. So what would you do to a child that is crying, that wants your attention? You pay attention to it. You give it love. You acknowledge it. The best way to do that, look at yourself in a mirror. Acknowledge yourself in the mirror. And I know at times it's difficult for you to do this, but we're going to do more.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's difficult for a lot of people to look themselves in the mirror. It's still at times difficult for me to look in the mirror for certain aspects of myself, for guilt and shame, because I still hold guilt and shame based on how I was during my promiscuous years. So I have to still address that. But thank you. But that's the best way that you can address these emotions so that the cycle doesn't repeat, is pay attention to it. Bring it up. Look at yourself in the mirror. Talk to yourself as if you were to talk to a child that's crying. And how would you address it? Like, for example, for me, my guilt or shame. I would look at myself in the mirror and say, "Hi, guilty David. I'm sorry that I haven't been paying attention to you. I'm sorry that you had to come up in this way. I want to let you know that I now acknowledge you and I love you. and you keep talking to it over and over and over until it finally dissipates and it stops crying, meaning the cycle stops repeating. My sister is bipolar. I had to remove the mirror from her room. She wouldn't leave her bed. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure. But, what else? So, that's the brief discussion that I wanted to go about on... Want to come up? That's a brief discussion that I wanted to go on about victimization or victimizing yourself and not owning your power outright. So, there's also, like, other people who think, yeah, you own your reality, but this. There's no but. There's no but. Except for this but. I'm just kidding.
People only do that because they just don't want to take ownership or responsibility for their emotions. People are afraid of their own power.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes! She said it. Is the reason why people don't want to believe that they create their reality 100% of the time is because they're afraid of taking ownership of how powerful they really are, of what they can actually create. Because I know that for a fact. Because for myself, I still am a little afraid of owning my power outright.
So am I.
And it's because if I were to truly accept that, then fuck. That means that I'm going to have to, like, completely shift everything that I am. So I've just been shifting myself little by little and not all at once. Because if I did that all at once, it would be it would explode everything.
Oh yeah? That's what she said.
Why our unconscious want to feel 10 times stronger? I don't understand the question. But yeah, little by little, start taking ownership of your creations. Like, it doesn't have to be that you take ownership of every single thing. Just do it little by little. Do however much you can. But you have to start somewhere. Start taking ownership of a couple experiences, little by little. And you'll see the more you do it, the easier it is to start taking ownership of things. And then you can start taking ownership of the collective consciousness of all the fucking war that we're creating. Because the war is inside of us. And it's just being shown outside there. So when you heal that war inside of you and that battle that's going on within you of not facing your fucking emotions, you're going to see the outside world shift and change. Because now, you are that pillar of light that is shining a big fucking lighthouse for other people. This is my kitty cat. Hi. For other people to recognize that it's okay. It is safe to start feeling again. It is safe to start taking ownership of your emotions again, rather than being like, you did something to me and I'm going to hold so much fucking anger and so much resentment for a long time that I'm going to share that resentment and that hatred to my children so that my children can then hate your children and then back and forth.
Do you think it's better to deal with another person like a friend? What is more effective? Do we want to put that in another person?
It does help when you share.
It helps to share, but just don't project your emotions onto somebody else, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do we want to put that in another person? It's like they're expecting that, like, by sharing that you're gonna, like, make that person feel bad for you, or that, like, I mean, yeah. If you don't project your emotion, then I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing it. Because somebody else can give you a different perspective on it that you didn't have.
And vulnerability is your strength. Vulnerability is not a fucking weakness. I'm sure you've read that all over the internet. It's not just a phrase that hippies say. It's your biggest strength. Because you're able to now create a bridge, a connection to another being for them to step into and be like, oh shit, I'm not the only one that feels this way. You feel this way too? Yeah, I feel this way too. We can start talking about it and healing it. Oh shit, that's awesome.
That's what we do.
I know. No, this was us.
Okay.
Why do we repeat? Why do we repeat harder their emotions? The emotions are only going to get harder if you deny it, if you keep sweeping it under the rug, if you pretend it's not there. When you acknowledge it and you do a mirror exercise or any other exercise that you would to give love to that emotion, it dissipates the energy of that emotion. So yes. So that is going to be, so you're saying you create your role in the world and your individual circumstances, but not the greater circumstances of the world.
Well, it's the same thing as like when you want to change the world, you have to change yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, essentially the role that you create for yourself has an effect on the world as a whole.
Yes. Everything starts with you. You literally are Neo of the Matrix. I'm Neo of the Matrix. She's Neo of the Matrix.
I've never seen the Matrix, so explain what
Just
that is.
say yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So every single one of you is the chosen one. Okay? Every single one of you. And it's up to you to begin healing these emotions within you. Rather than thinking all these fucking outside things are happening, these wars are happening, Donald Trump, all this, whatever it is that you wanna do.
She has to see this.
Heal yourself first. Work on your emotions first, rather than being like, well, there's war out there, what about all that stuff there? No. Take ownership of stuff within you first. And then when you heal that within yourself, then take a look outside of your world and see if anything changes.
Okay, I'm not the only one, because everybody thinks I'm crazy for having not seen it, but it's okay, I haven't seen a lot of movies, so.
So yes, heal yourself first. That's another saying that is always out there on the internet, is if you want to change the world, change yourself, heal yourself.
So
yes, Matrix movie party.
Yes! So that's how we change the country. The country's an organism just like we are.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. You are the universe. Every single one of you is the universe. Like, I'm sure you guys know what fractals are, right? Fractals are, no matter how much you zoom in or how much you zoom out, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the Hermetic laws talk about this: as above, so below, microcosm and macrocosm. Every single thing that you do within yourself gets reflected into everything else. That's why we're taught to believe. Yes, whether it's
experience itself.
Yep. Yes. We're taught to believe that just because you're one person, you're not going to make a difference. Bullshit. If you make a difference within you, you're going to make a difference everywhere else. Because I know that for a fact. If I didn't step into my role of what I do now and what I speak now, I wouldn't be inspiring you people. I wouldn't be talking about any of this. So think about that. If I would have kept in my victim standpoint and been a victim the entire time and held that resentment, there would be no live feed. None of this would be here.
You make a difference by existing.
Yes. You make a difference by owning things and by just being, taking ownership of your emotions, so that other people in their reality can look at you and be like, hey, that person's doing that. Wow, why is that? That's possible? Holy shit. I want to do that too. So we're going to do the meditation with water now. And in this instance, we're going to do a very powerful water intention. So if you don't have your water, please grab a cup of water. I'm going to wait about 2 minutes. And in the meantime, I am going to play a tank drum for you.
And you're also going to give me water, right?
Oh, poop. Yes, I'm going to go grab some water for you too.
I was like, I don't have any water. I will do this later. What kind of water is it?
This one is love and gratitude.
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There's harmony when you're living what you believe. So oh, it's Paola. Oh, she does have you on Facebook. Or no, it's because I shared your live stream. Just kidding. Oh,
okay. So
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
So
So we're gonna do the water meditation now. So if you don't have your water, please grab it. We're gonna do it right now. Are you ready?
I didn't, but I saw someone sharing. Oh, okay. Have a good session. I will come back and do it later.
Later, brother.
Yeah, I shared it. Okay.
Okay. So if you don't have your water, or if you do have your water, you're going to place one hand below the cup, one hand above the cup, and then go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Deep inhale in through the nose. Grounding yourself to the present moment. Exhale out the mouth. Letting go of the day. Next deep inhale, holding for 10 seconds. Deep inhale in. Exhale out the mouth. Breathing normally. I want you to begin placing your focus and awareness where the brain is, in the center of the skull. All of your awareness goes there. If any thoughts come through of where you have to be or what you have to do after this, bring your focus back to where the brain is. And utilizing your imagination, the God gift that you're given to create. Begin visualizing a beautiful white ball of light where that brain is. Maybe the size of a golf ball. Every inhale you take, visualizing it expand. Every exhale you take, visualizing it contract back to its original size. What you're creating right now is called a thought form. It is a manifestation of a thought or an intention. In this instance, we're going to program this thought form with a specific intention. And that intention, I want us all to do the same intention, which is to start taking ownership of your creations, to no longer be victims to outside circumstances. And when you feel that you are a victim of a circumstance, when this ball of light touches the water and when we drink the water, this will allow space for us to remember to take a step back from those moments and to remind ourselves, why did I create this? To ask yourself in your mind, why did I create this experience? Why is this experience showing up for me? How am I benefiting from creating this experience? So this is going to be a reminder, a space for us that this thought form will create. It'll be a little being that is always with you to whisper into your ear, asking you, why did you create this? Why did you create this? And it will be with you forever so that you can start taking ownership and being the creator so that we can actually make a difference in this world. So to do so, I want you to begin thinking about your experiences, thinking about certain experiences that you felt like you were a victim to. Put yourself in those moments. And as you're putting yourself through those moments, you hear that voice popping in. Why'd you create that? How is this serving you? That voice has always been there. You just haven't been paying attention to it. Noticing the emotion and feeling that you're getting by visualizing this or stepping into this. Maybe you start to feel empowered because you realize, oh wow, I create all that I experience. that empowerment, that bliss that you would feel, that happiness, because now you understand. That is what this ball of light will represent, is the reminder, that voice for you. Taking a deep inhale into the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Breathing normally. Focusing your awareness and attention back on the ball of light in the center of the mind. Now begin to follow that ball of light down through the neck. Following it to the chest. And allowing it to pause at the center of the chest. Noticing any tingly sensations you may feel. Any hot or coldness that you may feel. Any buzzing sensations that you may feel. Because your body is always communicating with you. This ball of light, this thought form, will be an activation for you. Now begin to visualize that ball of light moving through the left arm, the left shoulder, moving down, following it with your awareness until it moves down the lower arm and pausing in the center of your palm of the hand. Noticing once more what the body's communicating with you, any hot or coldness, any tingly, any buzzing sensations at that spot. We are utilizing this water, the element, because water allows itself to be programmed in any way that you want it to be programmed in. So begin visualizing that ball of light merging in with the water, setting the vibration in with the water, so that when you drink this water, it will begin to communicate with the water inside your body, so that it will constantly remind you, in any instance, that you feel like you're a victim or someone is doing something to you. You'll have that reminder, that voice, that inner dialogue that will ask you, why am I creating this for myself? So that you can start to take ownership and you can start to feel your emotions again rather than projecting them onto the illusion. Witnessing that ball of light completely merging in with the water until it's no longer visible. Taking a deep inhale into the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Breathing normally. When you're ready, slowly opening your eyes and looking at the cup of water. Looking down at the cup of water or wherever it is in your hand. Recognize this as a reflection of you, as an aspect of you. Water allows itself to flow freely. It does not limit itself. It allows itself to be felt freely. So we're going to give acknowledgement to this water that you're holding by simply stating the following phrase. Thank you, water.
Thank you, water.
I love you, water.
I love you, water.
And when you're ready, you can begin to drink the contents. And as you do, follow how the liquid is going down the neck, all the way down in the stomach, and be very present with it all. Follow it all the way down. And then when you're done, place the cup on the table, or wherever it is, and close your eyes and recognize how you feel in this moment. Do so now. Once you're done drinking the water, closing your eyes, I'm just going to do a brief sound healing with the tank drum as you're scanning the body, recognizing what the body is communicating. There's nothing else that you have to do besides focus on what the body is feeling. Wanders, bring it back to what the body is feeling. There's nowhere else you have to be. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Deep inhale, hold for 10 seconds. Deep inhale in. Exhale, bring the belly button back towards the spine and hold the breath inwards or hold the breath out. Hold it for as long as you can as the body begins to be felt even further. And when you have to, go ahead and inhale deeply and then begin to breathe normally. Still keeping your eyes closed as I begin to say certain words. Remember your creatorhood. Remember that you are not a victim. Remind yourself how powerful you are. Remind yourself you are unconditional love. Exploring all perspectives. Remember, you are divine and you are perfect. And then begin to recite these following affirmations out loud. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
I am joy. I am peace.
I am peace.
I am abundance.
I am abundance.
I am abundant.
I am abundant.
I am truth.
I am truth.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am free.
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 Deep inhale. Exhale. Feel how you feel and breathe normally. And then little by little opening the eyes. Now the question I have before I end this feed is, would you rather live in the victim mindset and believe everything outside of you is affecting you? and limiting yourself? Or would you rather empower yourself by taking ownership of your creations and actually allowing yourself to start to feel again, to face your emotions with courage? And that's all I have left to say. Have a good night.